He built a river funnel and caught 500 plus fish. No rod, no bait, just genius. What if I told you that the most effective fishing method in the world costs absolutely $0? No fishing rod, no bait, no boat, no license needed. Just rocks, some plastic sheet, and a genius understanding of how water moves. This guy walked into a random river in the middle of nowhere and walked out with more fish than most fishermen catch in an entire month. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to want to try this yourself. Let's be real. Most of us grew up thinking fishing meant sitting for hours, waiting, hoping, praying that something bites. You spend $200 on gear. You wake up at 5 a.m. and you go home with maybe 2 fish if you're lucky. But what this guy figured out completely flips that idea on its head. He's not fishing, he's trapping. And there's a massive difference. See, fish follow water current naturally. They swim with the flow, they don't fight it. So what if, instead of chasing the fish, you just redirect the water and let the fish come straight to you? That's exactly what this water funnel method does. And once you see it in action, you'll never look at a fishing rod the same way again. Now, before we get into the build, let me give you some context. This technique isn't new. Ancient civilizations, from Southeast Asia to Native American tribes, used river trap systems to feed entire villages. They didn't have rods, they didn't have hooks, they had engineering. They understood one simple truth. Water is predictable. Fish follow water. Control the water, you control the fish. What this guy did is take that ancient concept and upgrade it using modern materials. A simple plastic sheet, some rope, and strategically placed rocks. The result? A self-running, zero-maintenance fishing machine, built in under 2 hours, that works 24/7 even when he's sleeping. Let that sink in. The trap keeps working while he's back at camp, cooking, resting, doing whatever. This is passive fishing at its absolute finest. Okay, so first things first. Location is everything with this method. You can't just build this anywhere. You need to find the right kind of river or stream. Here's what to look for. Shallow water, ideally 1 to 3 feet deep. Deep water means fish can swim over or under your funnel walls. Moderate current, not too fast, not too slow. You need enough water movement to guide the fish naturally into the funnel. Natural narrowing. Look for spots where the river naturally gets narrower. This concentrates the fish into a smaller area automatically. Rocky bottom. Rocks give you building material and also anchor your structure so it doesn't wash away. Watch how he scouts the location first. He walks along the riverbank, studying the water flow. He's not randomly picking a spot. He's reading the river like a map. He finds a perfect shallow bend where the current naturally pushes toward one side. This is gold. That natural push means half the work is already done by the river itself. Smart. Very smart. Now, let's talk about what he's actually using. And this is where it gets crazy. Because the materials list is almost embarrassingly simple. Materials. River rocks of various sizes, completely free, found on site. One large plastic sheet, the kind used for gardening or construction. Some paracord or strong rope. A few wooden stakes or sticks. Optional, a small net for the catch end. Tools. His bare hands. A basic knife. That's it. No power tools, no expensive gear, no trips to the hardware store. Total cost? Basically zero if you already own a plastic sheet and some rope. This is what makes this method so powerful. Anyone can do this, anywhere, with almost nothing. Alright, now we get into the actual construction. This is where it gets really satisfying to watch. Step 1. Mark your funnel shape. He starts by mentally drawing a wide V shape in the river. The wide opening faces upstream, so water and fish enter from the wide end. The narrow point faces downstream. That's where the trap pocket sits. Think of it like a funnel you'd use in a kitchen. Wide top, narrow bottom. Except this one is made of rocks and sits in a river. Step 2. Lay the first wall. He starts placing large rocks in a line, following one side of his V shape. These are the heavy anchor rocks. They don't need to be perfect, just solid enough that the current won't push them. Notice how he's not stacking them high. He keeps the walls just above the water line, about 6 to 8 inches above the water surface. Why? Because fish jump. And if your walls are too low, they'll clear it. Too high and you're wasting energy building. Step 3. Fill the gaps. Between the big rocks, he packs in smaller stones and mud. This is crucial. Any gaps in the wall and fish will just swim through the gaps instead of following the funnel path. He takes his time here. Every gap filled, every loose rock tested. He actually pushes and shakes each section to make sure it holds. Step 4. Build the second wall. Same process on the other side, mirroring the first wall. The two walls converge at the downstream narrow point, getting closer and closer until they are just about 18 inches apart at the end. That narrow gap at the end, that's where the magic happens. Now here's the genius part of this whole design, the trap pocket. At the narrow end of the funnel, he doesn't just let the fish flow out into open water again. He builds a small enclosed pocket, like a little cage or holding pen, where fish swim in but cannot swim back out. How does he stop them from swimming back? He uses the plastic sheet here. He creates a simple one-way gate, a flap of plastic that opens inward when fish push through, but closes back when they try to reverse direction. It's basically the same principle as a lobster trap or a crawfish trap. Easy to enter, almost impossible to exit. He secures the plastic with wooden stakes pushed into the riverbed. The current keeps the flap lightly pressed closed from the downstream side, so fish that try to turn around hit a wall of plastic. Brilliant, right? He tests the flap manually, pushes it open from the upstream side, watches it fall, back closed. Perfect. Now he steps back. The trap is set. And this is where most people get impatient. But he knows better. He gives it about 45 minutes to an hour. Why? Because fish are cautious. When you've been splashing around building walls and disturbing the riverbed, the fish in that area have scattered. They need time to return to their normal swimming patterns. But here's the beautiful thing. They will return. Fish are creatures of habit. They follow the same current paths. They return to the same feeding zones. And when they do, your funnel is right there, waiting. Let me explain the science quickly because this is actually fascinating. Fish naturally swim with the current when resting or searching for food. They conserve energy by letting the water carry them slightly. So when a fish enters the wide mouth of your funnel, it just keeps going with the flow. It doesn't realize it's being channeled. By the time it notices the walls closing in, it's already through the one-way gate. The funnel exploits the fish's own natural behavior against it. It's not a trick, it's just physics. Okay, moment of truth. He walks back to the trap pocket after about an hour. And oh my God, look at that. The pocket is packed. We're talking dozens, no, hundreds of fish crammed into that little holding area. Different sizes, different species, all just swimming in circles wondering what happened. He literally has to use both hands to scoop them out. This is insane. An hour of building work, zero cost. And he's pulling out more fish than you'd catch in a week of traditional rod fishing. He counts them out on the bank. one by one. The final count? Over 200 fish in one session from one trap. And the trap is still working. He could leave it overnight and come back to another full pocket in the morning. This is the power of working smarter, not harder. This is survival fishing done right. Before we wrap up, here are some quick pro tips if you want to try this yourself. Tip 1. Build your funnel early morning. Fish are most active at dawn and feed aggressively. Your trap fills faster. Tip 2. Add bait to the trap pocket. A handful of breadcrumbs, corn or worms inside the pocket draws fish in even faster. Tip 3. Build 2 funnels side by side if the river is wide enough. Double the trap, double the catch. Tip 4. Check local regulations. In some US states, fish traps require a permit. Always check your state's fishing laws before building. Tip 5. Release what you don't need. Practice sustainable fishing. Take what you need, release the rest. From $0 and a couple hours of work to 200 plus fish. This is what survival skills actually look like in the real world. No fancy gear, no expensive subscriptions, just knowledge, creativity, and understanding nature. If you learned something today, smash that like button. It takes 2 seconds and it helps this channel more than you know. Subscribe if you want to see more insane survival and primitive skills every single week. And drop a comment below. Would you try this water funnel method? Let me know. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.